Let's talk marriage and family life. Welcome again to the office of Pastor Kevin Martin, and let's talk marriage and family life. I want to say thank you for those that have watched the previous sessions. I hope that it's been a blessing to you. This will be my last time to come online this week, and I will start again next week on Monday. I want to begin this with just a little bit of humor, and that is, I read it says, never make a woman mad, because they can remember stuff that hasn't even happened yet. Women are a little bit unique, and so are men. And because of that, there is a struggle and a battle that we all fight, we all face. There is a nature in us, and that nature is to be selfish. I want to read Scripture, and you'll see where this selfishness has conflict with Scripture. Genesis 2:24 says, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one." They shall be one flesh. Jesus, he emphasized this in Matthew chapter 9, verse 5. He said, "For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more two, but one flesh. And what therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder." This selfish nature that we struggle with, this selfish nature that we battle with, it began the beginning. When we were born, nobody had to teach us how to be selfish. The problem we have is trying to teach our children how to not be selfish. It's the nature, it's the natural side of our flesh to be selfish. When my grandkids are together, there is just a natural side of them that wants to argue, that wants to resist giving in to one another. They'll say, "This is mine," and the other one is, "No, that's mine." And the other one is, "No, that's mine." This nature of the flesh to be selfish, it is a struggle that we have throughout our entire life. And so whenever we come together in marriage, we have a problem. And this is the two of us right here. You have the male and the female, or the wife and the husband, and we have boundary lines. These boundaries, we can call them fences, you can call them boundaries, but this is who we are. We are two different worlds when we come together, and we are totally different. Everything about us is different. Our perception is different. The way we think is different. Our upbringing is different. We comb our hair different. We brush our teeth different. We have different ways of thinking that we should raise a family. Everything in our life is different. We're two different worlds. We may speak the same language, but in reality, we are so different. And so God calls us to come together, and two of us become one. Now, for that to happen, we have a struggle. And it is a battle between who's going to have it their way. Whose way is it going to be? Who's going to have the marriage the way they think it should be? Should it be this one? Or should it be the husband? And usually the strongest willed is the one that wins, because of this power struggle, this battle back and forth. It's the king of the mountain struggle. We all face this. Every marriage, we battle with our flesh. We battle with the nature of our flesh, to be selfish, to have things our way. And so the question is, whose way is it going to be? Is it going to be hers? Or is it going to be His? That line around us, that's the way we think things should be. That's how we think that we should raise children, how we think we should discipline children. It's made up throughout years of time. We are molded when we come into this world. That environment molds us into a character. We become a character of that environment that we came up in. And whatever that environment was, it becomes a norm to us. If we ate rice for breakfast growing up as a child, as you get older, that's the norm. Everybody else is a little strange. If you eat bacon and eggs for breakfast whenever you're coming up, and all of a sudden your spouse starts wanting to have breakfast burritos or tacos, there's something that it's just it kind of feels strange to us. In this battle, whose world is it going to be? When two shall become one flesh, who's going to have it their way? Is it going to be His way? Is it going to be her way? God's plan is for us to remove the boundary that has been built over years of time. For each person to remove that boundary, each one of them, remove all the boundaries, and then together rebuild with the two of you inside. Instead of it being separate people with a power struggle, trying to keep their boundary intact, trying to keep their way intact. And what happens is the other person gets a feeling of they're a non-person. Their life isn't important. And they become discouraged. And they become frustrated because they've given up their self for the other person. And that's not God's plan. God's plan is for both of you to disassemble your boundaries and then together, come together and share. Begin sharing input. Begin sharing details. And where both of you are inside of one boundary. That boundary is now a boundary that surrounds the two of you. And this makes up you. You become one. You become one flesh. You become what the Scripture talks about. And for that to happen, it's got to be sharing. You've got to share. You've got to share equally and then build this new set of boundaries by equally sharing each other's needs, equally sharing creativity, ideas, dreams, desires. Come up with a plan that both of you can agree on the way we're going to raise our children, the way we're going to discipline our children. Come up with that plan. Build a boundary around the two of you where two of you shall become one. And now you have this world. This is you. This is your family. This is your marriage. And you're one. You're not separate. You don't want it to be a power struggle where one person, the strongest willed person, wins. And they always get their way. And it's all made up in the way they thought things should be. And their marriage is the way they thought things should be. It should be two people with equal input. Both people being a part of this marriage and this world and the boundaries built around the two of you. That takes communication. That takes communication. You've got to be able to communicate to build this boundary line around the two of you, with both of you inside and both of you being at peace and being happy and having a happy marriage. God bless you today. I hope that I've been a blessing to you. If you've enjoyed this, if it's been a blessing to you, please share it. Share it so other people will be able to watch it and maybe receive something that will be a blessing to them. Thank you for watching. I pray God's blessing to be upon you, upon your marriage, upon your family. And I thank God for marriage. Thank God for our family and God's design for what it should be. God bless you. If it's been a blessing to you, you'd like to give a love offering, go to our church website, www.atascocitaupc.com. God bless you. I'll see you next week.